Welcome to Married with a Life. I'm here with episode 4. We are making progress. So thank you for joining. Please share this live broadcast. Okay, please share this live broadcast. Today we're going to be looking at 3 things. We're still going to talk a little bit about why some husbands are not helping their wives. We're looking at the attitude from the husbands, and then we'll look at the attitude from the wives, what the wives are doing wrong, or how their actions are hindering the help from their husbands. And then there was a question that somebody asked on the link that I sent, the survey link that was posted on this Facebook page. So I'll try and answer those questions as well. God bless you for joining. So somebody made a very interesting comment on the survey, and the person said that one of the reasons why some husbands are not helping their wives, especially at home, is because they are just being wicked. Okay, so some people, they just share wickedness. They just want to make life difficult for their wives, which I found very, very strange, but it's not impossible. I remember I listened to a talk show on YouTube, and there was a lady who said she was married and the marriage was an abusive marriage. It was very, very toxic. And according to the lady, the man had already told his friends and even some of her friends that he's only marrying her to punish her. Because the girl is quite a tough lady. She's quite strict. She's the kind of person that she's like a no-nonsense lady. So the guy thought, I will marry you and break you. Okay, so that's what he literally did. And so such a person who just want to punish you, they are obviously going to leave you to suffer. Okay, they would, everything that is abuse, you will experience it in that marriage. So unfortunately, apparently there's men who, they don't help their wives at home because they just want to be wicked towards that lady. So they watch you suffer and suffer and suffer. And they don't care how you are looking. They don't care whether you are crying. They don't care whether you are complaining. Their mindset is that I came here to waste your life. But see, it's a worldly wisdom. It's a worldly wisdom, because if you think about the fact that you've married somebody, let's say, even if it's for a year or 2 years, 3 years, that you are intending to punish the person, that is 3 years of your life being wasted as well as a male. So you are not only wasting the lady's life, you are not only making her life difficult, you are going to make your own life difficult, because that 3 years, you could have married to a woman that you truly love and have a life with that woman. You could have used that 3 years to do something better for your life. So you sleeping in the same room, in the same house with a lady that you are married to, and you are tormenting the person and thinking that you are punishing the person, is to your disadvantage. And some of these women will cry out of the pain, out of the bitterness, and they will release words. And these words will now become curses that will follow you for the rest of your life. So if you are married and that is your motive, you need to repent. You need to repent. And especially if you are single and you are watching me, you've met a lady that you think she's so difficult, you want to marry her and break her, you will be disadvantaged. Okay? Even if that marriage is not going to work, any marriage that is abusive, is toxic, it's not going to work. And eventually when you part ways and you move on and you go and marry, the curses that you have carried from this marriage will follow you. So your next marriage that you think you've now met somebody you love, that marriage might not even work because of the curses. So we need to be careful how we think and how we do things, because they become seeds that we'll reap later on. Okay, so that is the first thing I'm addressing today. The second thing is tiredness. Okay, so on the survey, many people have said that their husbands, they normally help, but because of the tight schedules, they are working so hard, especially if you have children and one of you have to take care of the child, and especially the lady that mostly would stay home and take care of the children. Let's say you are also on maternity leave, you don't have any side business that will bring money in, so all the financial burden is on the man. It means that the man has to work hard. He has to probably leave home very early, come back home very late, and they are tired. So because of that, the household chores, they may not be able to help you that much, which is understandable. Okay, it's understandable. So it's not like he's being wicked to you. It's not like he doesn't want to do it or he can't do it. It's just the time. The time constraint doesn't help him to be able to give his best at home. Even though he's giving his best somehow, okay, bringing the money home to make sure that the kids and you as the wife, you are all doing well, that your bills are paid and you are not sleeping outside. That is his part that he's also playing. Okay, I know it can be hard to hear because we feel like you're doing everything at home, but somehow if you think about it, you can compensate yourself or you can help yourself to relax by knowing that he's also making your life comfortable and the lives of the kids comfortable by going out there to work. So when he comes back home and he's tired and he's not able to do much, you have to show grace. You have to understand that this is what it is. In many homes, that is what it is. Okay. So the tiredness, recently I was laughing at my husband. He normally, because we have 2 children, so sometimes when we want to get them to sleep, the toddler, our 2-year-plus girl, she doesn't like to sleep when the baby is awake. She wants to play with the baby. Even when the baby is sleeping, she will go and wake him up. Wake up, baby. So when they are around each other, they will not sleep. So what we do is one person sometimes I will take the girl to the bedroom trying to get her to sleep. And then my husband will be with the baby in the hall. And then sometimes it will be the other way around. So this particular day, my husband had a girl in the bedroom. And I was with the baby at the hall. About 30 minutes time, I saw my daughter. She just came to the hall. And I was like, what are you doing here? You were meant to be sleeping. How did you escape the grip of your dad? So I was thinking that maybe he's going to follow her. And he didn't. So I thought, let me go and see what is happening. When I went, he was asleep. He was fast asleep. So I started laughing. And then he woke up. And I said, you were meant to get her to sleep, and she rather got you to sleep, and because he was tired, so he fell asleep in the process. So some of these things, as a couple, I think when you live with each other for some time, you get to know how both of you behave. And if it is not their everyday lifestyle, whereby they are just being lazy or they just don't care, you would know. So if once in a while, because of tiredness, because of tight schedules, they are not able to help, we just have to let it be. It's not a big deal. It's not something that you have to make argument out of it. It's not going to help you in any way. And it will make you sound as if you are unreasonable or as if you are selfish as the wife. So we need to, have this understanding in the background so that we can support each other. Yes. So now let's come to the women. Okay, so let me start like this. When you are at the age where you want to get married, most of the time, you would have done some counseling before you get married, or you would have read some books. Especially if you are in SWAL, we equip you so much with information about marriage. So there are certain things that before you get into marriage, you already know them. Now, even if you didn't have any ministries or organizations like SWAL to teach you something about marriage, or you didn't go to any church where the pastors are teaching about marriage, or you didn't read any book, you didn't do any counseling at all, and you got married, at least there's one thing you would know. And that will be that both of you are from different backgrounds. That one, even if you are not educated, everybody knows that. That your husband, the man you are getting married to, is from a different background. You are also from a different background. And so your ideas, your beliefs, your behavior, your mindset, the way you do things will be different. So if you get into marriage, and as a wife, you tell yourself that it is especially when it comes to the kitchen, because one of the scenario somebody left for me, it's a true life story. He said his wife was planning to prepare, I think it's garden egg stew, garden eggs, eggplant. So the wife had gone out, and he thought, okay, I know how to cook garden egg stew. So let me quickly make it to surprise her, so that when she comes, she doesn't have to now go to the kitchen. I would have already made it. And so he excitedly went to the kitchen and prepared this nice stew. When the wife came, she was upset. Why did you have to cook it? This is not how I cook my garden egg stew. Blah, 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 blah. Next time you have to ask me. And that was the end of it. So he said he regretted big time. So from that day, he decided, I'm no longer stepping in this kitchen. Now the kitchen is yours. Take it. Now this attitude is not uncommon. Many women do that. You will hear men, even mature men, who will say, oh, I used to know how to cook, but since I got married, my wife doesn't allow me in the kitchen, so I no longer cook. It's not a good thing, especially if you're a young couple, especially those of you who are now getting ready, you are planning your wedding, or you are about to get married. You need to know these things. That how you start your marriage is what is going to stay. How you start. The first few months into the marriage, whatever you allow, that is what is going to stay. So if you tell your husband that I want to cook the food the way I want it, and because of that, don't touch anything here, the rest of your marriage, you will be the only person in the kitchen doing everything. So that's how you started it. Okay. So back to background. You are all from different background. Remember, this man that you are married to has been eating a certain type of food for years before you came into his life. His mother has already been cooking for him, or he has been cooking for himself, or his sisters has been cooking for him. So he's got his own taste buds, just like you've got your own. There's a way you like your food. He too has a way he likes his food. So you can't just come into the marriage and now you want your own way. How you want it, that is how it should be done. If you do that, your husband is going to leave you alone to do whatever you want, and you will suffer. Okay, there are foods that when I was single, some of you know that I lived on my own for 9 years before I got married. And when I say I live alone, I was doing my own stuff. There was no parents giving me money or paying for my bills. I was doing everything. And I don't remember ever cooking pasta or spaghetti. I don't remember ever cooking it. I don't remember ever, going to buy chips. Potato chips. If I'll buy chips, I'll go to the chicken and chip shop. The already made, the one that you can just eat there and then. I'll buy it. But when I got married, these were some of the things my husband eats. He likes them. He will do the spaghetti. He will buy the pastas. He will do potatoes. I never even like potatoes. He will do all of these things. And then when I got married, I had to get used to his way of eating. So I started eating. Some of you see most of my cooking videos that I post. These are some of the things you see. Because they are his everyday stuff that he was doing when he started living on his own. So we got married. I had to adapt to it and start learning how to eat these things. I didn't say, because before I got married, I was doing this diet. I was on diet. That's why I was so small. I was doing this wheat-free diet, and there's something called Eat Right for your blood type. So that was what I was on. And they were expensive. But then they were helping me to meet my aims. So, it was fine for me. And when we got married, initially, we're looking at our finances. Okay, we want to put our finances together to a certain degree. So because of that, we had to cut all the expensive stuff. Anything that is expensive, we had to cut it. So it meant that I had to stop doing my diet. I had to stop and be eating the things that I'm not supposed to be eating. So no wonder I put on weight. even body shower gel. The shower gel that I came into my marriage with, my husband said he didn't like the smell. The smell was too harsh, blah, blah, blah. So I had to stop and I became darker. So those of you who followed my series from courtship to life after honeymoon, it's on YouTube. If you followed it, you realize that I was looking a little bit darker because my color dimmed. Why? I had to use the body soap that he will like, the smell that he will like. And eventually, now I'm back to my wheat-free stuff. I am back to my eating healthy, and he's not complaining. But I had to sacrifice at the beginning. Now I'm back to even a better soap that both of us like. Because when he said, I don't want this soap, he started looking for other ones that I also like. So eventually we found one that had the same ingredients as the soap that I was using, but the smell is better than that one. So that's what we are using. Okay, but I had to sacrifice at the beginning. And even now, I cook, I'm trying to cook the way my husband cooks. The way he makes his soup, his stew. Growing up, what we were taught is when you are cooking, you have to make sure that the oil, everything, the oil has to show on the surface so that the stew itself is thick. Then you know that, yeah, it's well cooked. He doesn't do it that way. You don't have to see any oil. So now that's what I do. I had to learn how he's cooking. And I've noticed that his way of cooking is shorter. He doesn't spend too much time in the kitchen. And yet, we're able to eat the food. So I had to change how I cook. So you are not superhero. You don't know everything as a woman. You have to learn. Some of these men are coming into the marriage. They're already equipped. Some of them are equipped. They know how to cook. Some of them are the only child. So their parents taught them how to cook. Or they lived amongst women. So the women taught them, they know how to do some women stuff. Even though we have talked about the fact that some people, when they live with all women, they now become lazy and the women do everything. But there are some who took that as an advantage and they learned how to cook. So don't get angry when your husband cooks and it's not nice. Do you know how many times my husband has cooked and there was a lot of pepper? And he himself will say, I think there's too much pepper in this stew. I'll taste it. I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then I'll eat. After a few days, I'll taste it again. I'm like, I need water. I need water. And he will start laughing. Because I don't want to discourage him at the time that he's high. The person has surprised you, made something. He's high on energy. He's happy that he's done something for his wife. And then you come and you spoil the whole show. You spoil the whole show because you want it your own way. No. So the women, if your husband cooks and it's not nice, eat it like that. As long as you don't get food poisoning. Okay? Eat it. So that he'll be encouraged to do more next time. And then as he cooks his own style, because remember, that's what he knows from his parent or growing up, that's what he knows. So enjoy his style. Okay, and then he too, because it's not every day he's going to be cooking. So the days that you cook what you know, and he will eat it. So when he also cooks what he knows, you too eat it. And then eventually, you can teach him your style. One thing that I got to know was that my husband doesn't like okra soup. He didn't like okra soup. Even his mother, my mother-in-law told me, oh, he doesn't like okra soup. Most African food is like, me, I don't want this, I don't want that. Apparently he used to be big. Now you see how slim he is because he stopped eating some of the African foods. So his mom told me that he didn't like okra soup. But when we got married, when I make the okra soup, I would, convince him, find a way. And he started eating okra soup. He ate it for almost 3 years. And then it just last year, he said to me, oh, when you're making the okra soup, can you cut it in this size? And I was like, oh. So all this while, he was eating my okra soup, but not really the way he likes it. So now when I cook okra soup, I'm doing it the way he likes it. So you see, marriage, you need a lot of wisdom. You need to be a reasonable person. You have to be reasonable, not somebody who, you have to think through things before you do them. Don't just go on the emotions, because we women, we are more emotional than the men. So everything, we are driven by emotions, and emotions do not have a mind. Your emotions, they don't have a mind. They don't think. So you have to switch and think. You have to be reasonable and find a way that you do things that later on, it will not bring you consequences. Okay. You do not have to be angry because your husband cooked a certain food that you don't like. If you don't like it, still say thank you. Maybe you can have it at that time, just taste it and say, oh, it's not bad, it's nice, I like this style, but obviously, maybe next time, can you try my style as well, so that we can learn both styles, and once in a while, we make them. Am I blessing somebody? I hope so. Now, let me jump. I think I've touched on all the things that I've written down. Yeah. So I'm going to link this to the question somebody asked about. He said, you seem to be a very nice person, but yet strict. And then he said, are you romantic at all? That's the first 3-in-1 question. And then the second question is, how do you convince your husband? Because apparently the person says, from observation, they realize that my husband is supporting. So how do I convince him to do things for me? Apart from him being willing to do them. So number 1, yes, I can be strict. There's no doubt about that, especially if you are running the kind of ministry that I run. This is an emotional ministry when it comes to marriage, relationships. People can get into it with their emotions to the extent that, unfortunately, quote, they may not use their head, especially the singles. You can meet somebody, you are just driven by emotions and you are not thinking, is this person right for me? What is the kind of future this person can bring on board? So you can make a mistake. So if you are running this kind of ministry, you've got to be strong. You've got to be a bit strict so that you can pull people out of any wrong relationship that they are in that they can't even see. If you are too lenient, you will just help them to make mistakes. Okay. And if you're a member of SWAL, you probably will not see my strict side that much. But if you're a coordinator, if you work closely with me, that's when you see it more. I can be strict if you're not doing the right thing, if you are not doing the work. Okay. One of the things I've been teaching them is it's not enough to have a title. It's not enough to be called a coordinator if you are not performing your duties. The reason why you've got a title is because it comes with responsibilities. So if you ignore the responsibilities, then you do not need the title anymore. Okay, so I can be strict when it comes to if you are not doing the work that you have signed up to do. Nobody forced you. You are the one who signed up that I want to help you run the ministry. And I cannot run it alone. That is why you are here to help me. So if you have come to help me, please help me. Don't let me chase you. Because once I start chasing you, what's the point? You see. So that is what makes me strict. And I don't apologize for that. Okay. If I'm harsh, yes, I can be harsh sometimes. That one, I can apologize. Okay, because there's a difference between being strict and being harsh. If you are harsh, it means that you can step on toes. You can be, you can use the wrong words. So you can push them too much. Okay. So that one, yes, I can apologize for that one. Am I nice? Of course. I'm very nice. If you know how to, it's just like every human being has their good side and their bad side. It depends on where you step. Okay, if you step on the wrong side, you may see the wrong side of them. So those who really, really know me, those who, if you've learned how to handle me, you would see the very nice aspect of me. It's amazing. I think people see me to be more strict than nice, which, let me tell you this thing that happened. When I came to Ghana for the Effective Singles Conference, the 2017 one, we were getting the venue ready, and I just went there to help set up the place. And I noticed that throughout, we did a coordinators meeting before the event. So I noticed the coordinators were looking at me. Some of them would just stand and be looking at me very strange. So sometimes I'll ask some of them, are you okay? Why are you looking at me like that? So when we came back after the event, then on our WhatsApp group, our coordinators WhatsApp group, they started confessing. So some of them said, oh, I was so shocked when I saw you wearing slippers. Another person said, I was so shocked when I saw you carrying the chairs, arranging the place. I thought you were going to stand there and be giving us orders. I thought you were going to be very strict, but the way you were smiling, the way you were hugging us, the way you were saying this, I was so surprised. So they were just talking. Everybody was coming out to say the experience with me. And one of the guys said, oh, as for him, he came with his cousin. And his cousin, during the event, the cousin said, who is the CEO? I can't see the CEO. And he said to the cousin, oh, that small girl, is that small girl sitting there? Can you imagine? Because I was so simple that, I was doing everything with them. So you wouldn't know who is who. Okay. So they were confessing, and they were very surprised that what they thought is not what it really was. Okay, so again, as I said, when we are on the battlefield and we are working, then you see that very strict aspect of me. But generally, I'm a very easy person. Very, very easy. You can ask my husband when you see him. You can ask him. Okay, so the other question is, are you romantic? That answer cannot come from me. So when you see my husband, he's the only person that has experienced me in that area. So when you see him, you can ask him, and I'm sure he'll give you a very honest answer. How do you convince your husband? Okay, so first of all, let me lay this foundation that my husband is, we are both believers. We are both believers. We are Christians. Before we got married, we were serving. I don't know where I'm getting emotional. We were serving in our church, working together as youth. So we got to know each other very well to an extent. And we are truly born again. We love God. We love God. And we have an understanding of marriage, which we both learned during our singleness by reading books, following Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. I was literally feeding on his books. And it was my husband who introduced me to his books and to his teachings on YouTube. So I got to understand a lot of things about marriage before we got married. So all of those things shaped our behavior when we got married. And the fact that we are both believers also gave us a good foundation. So those of you who know my husband, not from WhatsApp, or those who know him face to face, you've been around him, you know that he's generally a good person. He's a nice person. And sometimes that is what you need. And I genuinely like my husband, not just love. I like him. I don't know how to put this. You meet some people and you like them. It's not about what they are doing for you, but you just like them. And then if love comes in, it even makes it much better. So that is our foundation. That's our foundation. So it means that there are things that we don't necessarily have to struggle to do for each other. When this question came, I asked my husband the same question. I said, what do I do to convince you? Anytime that you don't want to do something and you end up doing it, what do I do? Because it's not every time that he wants to do something that I want him to do. It's not all the time. And he said to me that because I love you. And I said, okay, that one, the person that wants the answers will not really be convinced. Love, yes, we know the love is there. So give me more. And he said, I don't know what to give because that's the main thing. And then later he said that because of the sacrifices that I make. I said, by sacrifices, everybody makes sacrifices. So give me an example. And he said, there's children, the kids, because of the sacrifices that I make with the kids, for the kids. I said, okay, there are homes that the wives too are making no sacrifices. So can you give me something more? He couldn't. He couldn't. And then my time was up. I had to come and sit here. Okay, so I think it's just God's mercy. Yeah, everything else that I'm going to say after here, I want it to fall back on this. That is just the mercy of God. Because there are people who do the things that I do, and yet they can't seem to get their husbands to support. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and give you a long list and just make you feel like if you do those long lists, it's going to work. It might not work. But if you've got God as the foundation of your marriage, and if you genuinely like each other and love each other, then things will not be as difficult as they should be. You know, one thing that people might not know, you see my husband getting involved a lot with Swal. It's as if he's always there, okay? And he's always been there. He leads the prayer meetings, you know, when we do the prayer retreats, when we do the singles talk, he's here. He does all of that. But one thing you've not noticed is when we are starting those long fasts, or even when we are starting singles talk, most of the time he doesn't want to be the first to start. He doesn't. So that is one aspect that I've not been able to convince him that much. When we are starting a 40 days fast, the first day I have to start. The reason that he gives me is because I'm the carrier of the vision. He said, there's a grace that you carry that I don't have. And because you are the mantle holder for this mission or this ministry, you have to be the one to start. So he respects that position and not just say, no, I'm the man here, so I have to be the one to start. So he never starts, and most of the time he will never finish it. I have to start. He can support in the middle, and at the end, I have to finish it. So even if I say to him, can you pray to close us? At the end, he will pass the laptop back to me to finish off. Okay, so that is there. And then the other thing is, we try to put each other first. So many things. For instance, when I said some of the food that I never liked to eat when I was single, and then I got married and I have to now start eating it. That is me putting him first. Okay, so there are things that he doesn't struggle to do for me because I don't struggle to do it for him either. One typical thing I do is I don't buy anything without my husband's approval. So this is what I mean. When I'm going to buy a new clothing, I have to show it. It's my own. He didn't tell me to do that. I do that personally. It's my choice. So I would show him, if I'm buying it online, I will show him the outfits. I will put them in the shopping basket. And then I'll show it to him. Do you like this? Do you like that? If he says yes, I'll buy it. Sometimes he'll say, it's not that great. I can't see you in it. But if you like it, you can buy it. Okay. And then there are times I will say, no, it's not nice. He doesn't like it. So I've got a leeway. If he likes it 100%, I'll buy it. If he doesn't like it at all, I'll not buy it. If it's in between, then I have to wait. Do I really like it? If I really like it, then I'll go for it. And over the years, I've come to know his taste. So there are things that now, if I'm buying, I know I've bought this style before, or I know his kind of taste in this way. I know he will like this. So I can buy it without showing it to him. But when it comes, I'll always wear them. Anytime I buy online things, I'll wear them. I'll go and stand in front of him. What do you think? Do you like it? If he says he doesn't like it, I'm returning it. That's me. I'm not saying do the same, but you want to know why my husband is supporting me. These are some of the reasons. That's what I believe. Okay. When I'm going to do my hairstyle, I will always download it from Google. Okay. I'll type African hairstyles. When it comes, I'll download the ones I like. Then I'll show it to him. Which of these hairstyles do you like? And then he would tell me, go for this one. And that is the hairstyle I would do. Why? He's my priority. If I'm looking good and everybody is telling me I'm looking good and he doesn't like it, there's no point. So I want to make sure that he's the one that is going to be living with me for how many years? Forever. So he should like what he sees around him. If he doesn't like it, what's the point? So these are the things that I do. These are the things that I do. And my husband can drive, recently we found hairdressers around where we are because we moved out of London. But I used to still go to my hairdresser in London. And he would drive and go and sit down and wait for me to fix my hair. My hairdresser is a witness to this. Because after she finished doing my hair, she would come to the car and say hello to my husband. We would drive all the way. So I'm thinking, if this man is going to drive and wait for me to fix my hair, and the hair, he doesn't like it, it's an insult. So I make sure he likes the hair. Now, he doesn't have to. Now I drive. Sometimes I drive myself, take my daughter to go and fix her hair. And if I have to do my hair, I'll do the same. But I still make sure my husband likes my hairstyle. I still make sure. So those are the things that I do. And I ask for help. I ask for help. There are many people who don't ask for help because they feel they can do it. If you feel like the kitchen is your territory, the home is for you, you are the woman here, you are in charge, you are the boss when it comes to the home, when it comes to the kitchen, then nobody's going to help you. I don't see myself as the boss anywhere in this house. And so I make sure that I always, somebody said my network is not stable. Is it like that for everyone? Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so hope it's better now. Yeah, so I just make sure I ask for help. If I'm tired, I will ask for help. When we had our first child, I told my husband, there is nothing about this child that you shouldn't know how to do. The reason is because I might not be here all the time. If I travel, if I have to go to work, travel and go to work, if I have to go to a crusade, because I do go to crusades or conferences, if I'm invited to come somewhere and speak, and you're alone with the kids, you should be able to do everything for them. You should be able to brush their teeth, bath them. Okay, so I put that in his head right from the beginning. So when I need help, when I finish bathing the kids or doing something, I'll say, can you help change the nappy? And I always use the word, can you help? Can you please help me? Or sometimes I say, how is your schedule today? Are you going to be free at any point? When he says he's busy, I'll say, okay. He will ask me why. I said, because I was thinking if you can help me with this or that. Okay. I always use the word help. Are you able to help me with this? Can you help with the kids? Can you help with the children? Like today I woke up we had to take our daughter for a photo shoot at the nursery. They were doing some free photo shoot and they wanted all the kids to come in. So I had to wake up early, bath her, plait her hair, and then looking at the time, if I have to now go and bath before taking her, I'll be late. We'll be late. So I went to my husband and said, how is your schedule today? Are you able to help take JL to the nursery? And he said, oh, he's busy, but he will look out. He will see what he can do. And eventually he took her. Okay, so I always ask for help. There's nothing that I'm solely responsible for. No, I ask for help. Even when we are sleeping in the night and the baby wakes up, and my boy, he's quite heavy. He's heavy. I don't know whether it's a boy's thing. They seem to be heavy. I help him to sleep, carry him when he sleep. You put him down, he start crying again. I do it a few times. When I'm tired, I'll wake my husband up. Say, please, can you help me with baby? And then I'll go to bed and he'll help. So I always ask. If you don't ask, the Bible says ask and it shall be given to you. Ask. Even if it's not going to be given to you, ask. Then at least you know you have asked. Okay. The last thing I will say is that I also thank my husband. I appreciate him. I appreciate him even when it is his responsibility. I appreciate him. Anything he does. If he takes out the bin, I'll say thank you. If you wash the plate, I'll say thank you. If you bath the children, I'll say thank you. Remember, initially, at the beginning of this series, I said that we do everything together. And our mindset is that the home is for us. Our children are for us. Our marriage is for us. So we have to make it work. So even with that mindset that we have come into that agreement, when my husband takes care of the children, anything he does for the children, I'll say thank you. And I'll tell the children to say thank you. My son is just 6 months. Sometimes I'll say, did you say thank you to daddy? You know, the girl, she's learned it now. So she'll say, thank you, daddy. You know, so everything we are saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And somebody said, if you know how to say thank you, your thank will always be full. So these are some of the things that I do. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are the reasons why he's helping, but I believe that it's just God. It's just God. Sometimes God just connects people. God can just lead you to somebody that, you know, they are for you. They are for you. And I'm for my husband as well. There's nothing my husband has asked, is doing that I don't show interest or that I don't support. He doesn't have to struggle to convince me to do something. No. As long as it will make him happy and it's not going to make things very hard for us, because there are sacrifices you can make, but if the sacrifices mean that me and my kids and our home, we are in serious problem, then I'm not going to do it. But so far, we've both been reasonable. We know our capacity and we try to stay within that capacity. So the person who asked this question, I hope I've answered you, and I think I've even over-answered you. Okay, so if you want to adapt some of these things, check what are the ways that you can put your husband first, you can put your wife first, to start from somewhere and see if that can help you to get more of his attention or get more of her attention. And again, I will say to the men that we really need you guys. We really, really, really need you. You know, I've always been saying to my husband, I don't know how the single parent do it. It was when I got pregnant and started having kids that my respect for single mothers went up so high. It just shot up. I don't know how they manage to do the things they do. And some have raised amazing children. You know, so we need a man. We need a man. Every little help that you can give in the house, it will go a long way to help your wife. You know, we can still do it. If we want to do it, we can still do it. Women, we are built, we've got the capacity. There's this inner strength that we have that can enable us to do things. But after doing that, if you're not careful, you'll be sick. You'll be sick. You know, when I was pregnant, I said to my husband, I'm so sorry. I know I'm always calling you to do this, help this, do this. Because there's certain things I couldn't lift. I couldn't do. You are not even allowed to do it because the midwife will tell you, don't lift heavy stuff, don't do this, don't do that. So always you'll be calling your husband. It will almost be like you are being suffocated. Your wife is suffocating you. Because she's always calling you. Can you help this? Can you do this? Can you do that? So I said to my husband, I'm so sorry that I have to be calling you like this, but if you leave me alone to do it, I will do it. I'll push and do it, but it means that I'll be tired or I'll be stressed. Okay, so the women can do it. The single mothers are doing it. So we can do it, but it will just mean that you are now going to have a depressed wife. You are going to have a stressed wife. You are going to have a bitter wife who will be resentful towards you, who probably will be cursing you in their hearts, okay? And you are not going to get the best out of them. And if your wife is not happy, trust me, you are not happy. You will not be happy. The home will not be happy, okay? It will not be happy. So let's help, and it comes back to help both of you to have a successful and happy home. I hope I blessed somebody. Let me read some of the comments and then I'll leave you guys. So Kweku says, you are blessed with knowledge and wisdom. That's scholars lack. I'm glad to know you today. I'm glad to receive these teachings from you. We bless God. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's encouraging. Okay, so that's the only thing. The rest are talking about the network. Okay, Nyomife says, well done. Thank you, Nyomife. Nyomife doesn't cease to say, well done. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because you see, when you are doing these kind of things, you hardly get people to encourage you. You hardly get, they will see the negatives. If I post something negative right now, oh, you get calls. That one, they will see it. But if you're doing the right thing, teaching the right things, people don't see it. So when you get even one thank you, one good stuff, you've got to appreciate it. It goes a long way to help us. So now says, thanks for these teachings. With you, there's always something to learn. Amen. We bless God. Thank you. Okay. God bless you. Thank you, Ama Kakaiku. God bless you. God bless you all for watching. I hope you've been blessed. Please share this video. We are not doing well at all with the sharing. You are not doing well. You know, it's very sad. I always say this to my husband that sometimes when I go on Facebook and I see a video, so people, they are brushing their teeth. Somebody can just go to the bathroom, brushing their teeth, and they do funny things, and the video goes viral. It goes viral. People be sharing. And I'm like, why? Is it the brushing of the teeth that you've never seen before? That you've never done before? They won't share the teachings that we are teaching you. The good, the things that will transform people's minds, people's homes. No, that one, they'll watch it and they're looking at you like, it's as if you are on your own. You are in a different world. They won't share it. But somebody sitting on the toilet pooing, then they will share. Please, this generation, let's wake up. Okay? Please share this video. Share this video. Please share this video. Click on the thumbs up to like it. Share it and leave a comment. Okay? Leave a comment. And God will bless you as you help us to grow and to impact more lives. And next time I'm going to be on, will be on the 18th. It's a Saturday, the 18th of November. And I'll be on the Single with a Live Facebook page on the 15th. So on that singles page, I'm teaching effective singleness. So the last thing I did, it was episode 4. Episode 4. Yeah, episode 4. And it's about the dangers of marriage. So even if you are married, you can still watch it. Okay. So please make time and be here next time. God bless you. Have an amazing week. I'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.